Hello, folks, and welcome back to Chris Wyatt Africa. I've mentioned this previously, this story, but we're going to talk about an update to this story that came out in the news yesterday. Well, the knives are coming out in South Africa for Eskom and the carcass that's left of this failed parastatal responsible for supplying electricity to South Africans. It's an abject failure under the African National Congress. A company that once supplied 42% of all commercial power in sub-Saharan Africa, with a tiny population, just 34 million, today has a population just slightly north of 60 million and can't keep the lights on 30 years after the ANC took control, thereabouts. Well, there's a group of attorneys representing interest in South Africa who are angry and are going to take their issue to Eskom. They threatened to take them to court, but in the meantime, a letter was issued to Andre de Ruyter, the CEO, the outgoing CEO of Eskom, and Pravin Gordhan, the Public Enterprises Minister, today. The letter was from Mabuza Attorneys and at least 6 other law firms: Buthelezi Vilakazi Incorporated, Makangela Mutungani Incorporated, Meketsu and Associates, Mpalele and Mpisa Incorporated, Maglanga and Partners Incorporated, and Ntanga Nkulu Incorporated. Sounds like a bunch of white monopoly capitalists. Not! Now, the legal team got the backing of United Democratic Movement leader Bantu Holomisa and the Build One SA leader, former leader of the Democratic Alliance, Musi Maimane. Policy analyst Lukonyo Mguni, the Inkatha Freedom Party, and the National Union of Metal Workers, as well as several not-for-profit organizations. The legal team said their clients instructed them to demand that load shedding be stopped with immediate effect, if not a full explanation of why the government cannot stop it. Well, the government can't stop it, and I appreciate what the attorneys are doing and what these political parties are doing and political movements and nonprofit organizations, but the answer is pretty clear. Eskom can't stop it because the grid is collapsing because of the money stolen and diverted to provide maintenance and maintain these facilities, the lack of strategic vision to build new power plants over the past 3 decades. And let's throw out Medupe and Kisile out. Those things were on the books for decades. Finally got built, overcost, way overcost, and many years over when they're supposed to be finished, and they don't work properly. Now, they also demanded in the letter to Eskom why the 18.65% increase by NERSA, the National Energy Regulator, should be implemented. Now, they don't want it implemented, and it doesn't take place till the 1st of April. So we'll see what happens to that. Eskom and Pravin Gordhan have until the 20th of January, just 4 days, to respond to this letter, or these attorneys will take legal action on behalf of their clients. This is what the lawyers had to say. If we are compelled to bring proceedings, which we hope to avoid, papers shall be lodged on the 23rd of January, 2023 for urgent relief. Now, the situation with Eskom is just crazy. 10 days ago, Eskom had to buy another 50 million liters of diesel. Now, what does that do? That means there's not enough diesel for other users in the economy, given that South Africa's refineries are all screwed up. The government has allowed a disaster to befall South Africa. Not only are you not burning the coal that you have to produce generating electricity for South Africans, but you are also not refining your petroleum products in the country. It's a horrific situation here, folks. So these lawyers who threatened to take a letter to Eskom apparently have done so, delivering a letter today to Pravin Gordhan, the Public Enterprises Minister, and to Andre de Ruyter, the outgoing CEO of Eskom, demanding answers. Why load shedding? Why can't you stop load shedding? Stop the 18.65% tariff increase. The problem with that is that so many municipalities in South Africa failed to pay their bills. They owe the government somewhere in the order of 60 to 100 billion rand in back payments, and courts are upholding that they can't turn the power off for these people who don't pay their bills. That's just crazy. It's just crazy. So people aren't paying bills. Others are stealing electricity. Sabotage is going on. We have incompetence and ineptitude taking place by ANC appointed officials and a board that came back in that undermined Andre de Ruyter. Bear in mind that Andre de Ruyter just survived an assassination attempt in November when his coffee was poisoned at the headquarters. Yeah, that's right. They poisoned him. He was poisoned with cyanide, which has been proven. A police case has been filed and is underway after Andre de Ruyter filed that in early January. Folks, it's a mess, an absolute mess, and I appreciate what these folks are trying to do. I'll be interviewing UDM leader Bantu Holomisa on this subject on the 17th of January. He'll be on at noontime South Africa time, so early in the morning here in the U.S., 5 a.m. But you can tune in for that and listen to what General Bantu Holomisa and the United Democratic Movement are doing as part of this and what's going on to try to stop this nonsense. But folks, I'll be honest with you, no shade on anybody trying to get Eskom answers, but it's too little too late. This anger, this angst should have been displayed 3, 5, 10 years ago. Certainly 3 years ago When De Ruyter came on, he could have made a change instead of being undermined by the ANC. Well, thanks a lot for your support. Become a subscriber. Help us out. Give us a like. Feel free to leave a comment behind. Once again, another video that doesn't talk about people's ethnicity or skin pigmentation. Yet there'll be comments after the video about just that sort of thing. I find it somewhat mildly entertaining to see some of the comments. But thank you for those of you who have substantive comments or legitimate questions about the content. Take care, folks.